Alright, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Austin Got Figs review. Now, for today's review, we will be reviewing the May 27th, 2025 episode of SmackDown. And without further ado, let's jump right on in to the action. Alright, to start us off, we will be talking about the Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page match for the NXT North American Championship. And man, let me tell you, this match was a banger, and honestly, probably was the match. No, not even probably. It was realistically the match of the night, man. This match, absolutely great, man. Two great stars with Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. It was honestly an incredible match, man. And one thing I really wanted to point out is that chair shot with Ricky Starks, man. That was actually insane, dude. Ethan absolutely dropped him, and Starks sold that so well, man. It was absolutely incredible. It literally looked genuinely so real. I was at a loss for words as soon as that happened, man. I was like, oh my god. Like, I was not expecting to see that tonight. And that really did shock me. Now, another thing I did want to point out in this match is Ava, obviously the NXT general manager, did come out, and she basically was stating how she wanted a clear winner, and so she basically was saying to take it light on the rules, and that pretty much led to the chaos, which included that chair shot with Ricky Starks being dropped on the chair, man. And obviously, we did have a new NXT North American champion with Ethan Page defeating Ricky Starks, and I'm very... I am pretty happy about that, man. Ethan Page deserves it. He deserves the push, and I can't wait to see what he does with the title. It really is going to be interesting. He's such a great star, and he really deserves it, man. Nobody should really be mad at the fact that he won. It's very reasonable as to why Ethan Page did win the NXT North American Championship. But that was about it for this match. Now let's jump into the next one. For our next match, we do have Mike Santana versus Tavion Heights, man. And, it wasn't even a bad match. It was a very decent match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing you'll ever see, but it wasn't, overall, it was not terrible. So, a couple things I want to point out here, man. Number one, it was wild to see Santana in the ring because, I mean, you don't get that much, but he definitely deserves it because he's definitely a very good star, man. He's not a bad wrestler, and it was cool to see him in action tonight. And another thing I wanted to point out was how fast actually Mike Santana was actually, moving in the ring, man. Like, he was very quick, man. It was actually shocking to me because it was very quick, and I was not expecting that out of him tonight. One thing I will say about the fact how fast-paced he was, man, it did end up leading to his own kind of downfall, if you will, because he did end up trying a sunset flip, and as a result of that, he did end up tripping on the landing, which you don't like to see because a sunset flip, if it lands perfectly, man, it looks so good. So that does suck that did happen, but, it's not the end of the night, man. It was still a good match overall. And last thing I did want to point out about that match was the way Tavion Heights, how he had picked up Santana with that rolling fireman's carry, man. That was gnarly. It looked so good, and I think it was very cool to see him actually lift up Mike Santana. It was very cool to see that. And yeah, that's really all to really say about that match. Nothing too crazy, but nothing too special. Nothing too special, but nothing bad. It was still a very good match. But now let's hop in to the next match. Alright, so for the next match, well, actually not really match, but for the next segment of the night, we do go into Trick Williams coming off of his victory at NXT Battleground, defeating, obviously, Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. So he came out and we had a little promo segment with him. And at the start of the promo, he basically came out and he turned on the crowd, and he said that pretty much since NXT didn't appreciate him, he was going to go to TNA. Now, that was actually very interesting to me because, I mean, I wasn't expecting to, kind of see that from Trick tonight. I was, coming out, I thought we were going to have this, big celebration. I mean, a WWE star just won a TNA World Championship while still being in the WWE, man. So I didn't think we were going to see something like that, but it was cool to see. It shocked me. I wasn't obviously expecting to see that out of Trick tonight. So it was cool to see that. And Santana also came out and gave him props, but he said Trick is not his champion. He basically told Williams that he made a bad impression by trying to tear down TNA in his promo, and he ended up calling Trick a pretender, which was very interesting, and that was definitely shots fired at Trick Williams into building up a feud with him and Santana. So that was cool to see. And then we also had an appearance from Santino Marella, and he basically had told Williams that his first title defense was already set up against Santana. So that is going to be interesting to see. But overall, the promo wasn't, it wasn't the greatest promo. It was a very standard promo to set up a title match for Trick Williams. I mean, nothing too special, but nothing that bad either. It was still pretty decent. But yeah, that was about it there. So now let's jump in to the next match. All right, moving on deeper into the night, we do move on to Jada Parker versus Tatum Paxley. And obviously, Jada Parker did defeat Paxley. And honestly, this match wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest match that you're gonna get from tonight, but it wasn't terrible. Nothing too crazy, but nothing bad at all. It was still a decent match that ended up making Parker, make her look tough to build into her character more. So that was pretty much the only thing special that did happen in this match. And I mean, that's really about it, man. Nothing too crazy out of this match, just a overall good performance out of these two stars. But once again, obviously, Jada Parker did end up defeating Paxley. But yeah, that's about it for this match. Nothing too crazy once again, but nothing bad either. Still a very overall decent match that helped build into both of these stars. All right, now moving on to the final segment or match of the night. We did have the in-ring debut of the Season 1 LFG winner, Jasper effing Troy, baby, man. I'm so glad he's making his in-ring debut because I did watch the whole LFG Season 1, and, man, he was great throughout the entire thing, man. But I won't go too deep into, obviously, what happened on LFG because that's not what we're talking about here today. We're talking about this match. So, yeah, pretty much Jasper had control of this match 90% of the time, pretty much, which is, what you would expect. And, it was cool to see what he can do in the ring, man. It's cool as, showing us what we're going to see from Jasper Troy moving forward when he actually gets himself involved with some storylines moving forward. So that was very cool to see. And obviously Jasper did end up defeating his opponent in this match, and by the way, his opponent was Dante Chen, so that's who Jasper did face in his first match on NXT tonight. But overall, it made Jasper look good, and I don't think that this really caused too much harm to any of the stars that were included in this match. It did exactly what it needed to do, man. It expressed Jasper for who he is and who he will become, and it helped elevate our kind of views as to what we should expect and what we'll see, obviously, from Jasper in the future of the WWE, man. But yeah, that's about it for tonight's NXT recap. I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And without further ado, I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all take care. I will see you in the next one. Peace. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this is actually me the day after the day after I had recorded the NXT recap originally, but I noticed as I scheduled the video, I completely left out an entire match, so that was completely my fault. But now we're going to do that right now. So the match I actually left out of the NXT recap was the Stephanie Vaquer versus JC Jane, and obviously that match was for the NXT Women's Championship. And we got a new champion, y'all. JC Jane did defeat Stephanie Vaquer, and honestly, I'm kind of happy about it, because you know that probably will lead to a push to the main roster for Stephanie Vaquer, and she absolutely deserves it, man, because she is so great in the ring, and she's also such an over superstar with the fans. I don't think there's many people that dislike her, man. So I think that's a bad thing for her losing the title, but it's also good for the obviously near future of her career. I do want to point out a few things here, though. That there was at one point in the match, there was a little like running knee attack that JC Jane hit on Stephanie Vaquer, and it looked so good, man. JC Jane is a very good star, and she's going to do well with the title. I think it'll definitely help her out and boost who she is to the fans. It'll give the fans more of a better perspective of who she is and who she can be. So yeah, so overall, the match was not bad. Very good match. Again, unfortunately, Vaquer did lose, but it's also good for her career, talking future, like, for her future, you know what I mean? But, all around, again, good match. Not too many problems there. And, yeah, that's really it for that match. But, yeah, so that was the entire NXT May 27th, 2025 recap. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.